Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Alan Chari. I'm a sophomore computer science major at Morehouse College, and that's actually where I am recording this video right now. I'm in my dorm room, and I recently came back from SC25, which is a supercomputing convention. This year was hosted in St. Louis. I do believe it is in a different location every year. I know last year was in Atlanta, and next year it will be in Chicago. Um, so I like to go to the one next year in Chicago. But anyways, I had an amazing opportunity to work with ACSC, which on the screen here you see it stands for Advanced Computing Student Collaborative, which is a foundation or a program, I should say, hosted by the University of Texas, funded by NSF. And in that program, I learned a lot of basics in Python and data analysis, and I was able to apply that using their very own supercomputer, Stampede 3. So I want to thank TACC, thank ACSC, and thank everyone that came together to make this all possible for me. It was a great experience, and I'd like to share my research with you guys. So, while getting the opportunity to use TACC's supercomputer, Stampede 3, I did research on the early advantage tech exposure in the black community. I really wanted to dive into why there is not many students that choose to pursue computer science degrees, especially when we consider how many African American kids choose to pursue higher sports rather than higher education and tech within the black community. So that's where my question stemmed from, and then I'll read it out here from my overview. The research question, formally typed out, is how does early computer science exposure correlate with college graduation rates and computer science programs within the black community? I wanted to look at students K through 12, just to see what students have access to certain computer science courses or STEM courses at large, and how that might differ race by race. And then I also wanted to factor in how colleges might play a role, considering in 2023, 18% of newly enrolled undergrad students were African American or black. So, as we see from that stat, there's not a lot of people that look like me and likely maybe even look like you that are choosing to go to college for computer science. So, how did I do this? Well, again, thanks to TACC's MP3 supercomputer, I was able to code up a lot of different functions with using Python as my language. I was extracting data from data sets, and those are listed here. So that would be from the AP National and State Data Archive. I was able to extract data on, well, you guys will see it in the graph, so I'll get to it there. I don't want to try and remember it all. The NSF minorities in science and engineering, CSET data, NCES data, all those data files. I extracted the data, and I was able to plot them using matplotlib, which is a Python library, and I was able to analyze them, getting the averages, and using Seaborn and Matplotlib again to diagram them. And those are the libraries I have listed here. Okay, so let's actually get into what I was able to find. So on the left here, we see figure 1. This is percentage of availability in AP courses by race and ethnicity from 2019 all the way up to 2023. So it may be a little hard for you guys to see the legend here. That might be fault to my coding skills, but bear with me. So as we see, the accessibility rate is dominated heavily by Asian students. We see there is a higher amount of Hispanic slash Latino, for sure a higher amount of white students. And then the red here is where there is black or African American students. On average, they're usually around top 4, maybe top 3. We see here 2022, that's top 3, but usually not anywhere near as high as Asian students, or even Hispanic students. So these are students who have access to these courses by race. And then on the right, which is figure 2, this is exam participation. So factoring in the students that have access from those students who is actually participating and taking the opportunities given to them. So again, we see this is largely dominated by Asian students, and there are a lot of white students again. The two or more races, they don't go into specifics. So again, this is derived from the AP and College Board data set that I downloaded, and I extracted the data from their data set. They don't specify what those two or more races are, so we can put that up to our imagination. But still, the what's alarming here is the disproportion, right? We see there's not a lot of Black or African Americans and that are taking up these opportunities, and a lot of these AP courses are STEM courses, which may be math. There are a few computer science courses that College Board presents in the AP curriculum. So we saw that there are not a lot of young students that are participating in AP courses to get that high level of education to prepare them for what might lie in a computer science degree if they choose to pursue one. Next, I'd like to point out figure 3 on the left here. This shows the percentage of bachelor's degrees earned by Black or African American students from 2008 to 2018. Now, I know you guys might see a large increase or dip from 2013. There are different factors that play into that. And let me backtrack just a little bit. So looking at this legend, these are different STEM majors. And we're looking again at the percentage of degrees earned within the Black community by these studies from these students. Orange is computer science, so that's really what we want to look at. Maybe math and statistics as well, considering how that factors into computer science. But for computer science in general, we see a little peak in 2013, and then it trends downwards. And although it doesn't go past 2018, we do know that there's not much of an increase from here. Around 2020, I believe, from looking at articles, there was about a 1.6 increase due to many students wanting remote jobs and COVID factoring in. A lot of people wanted to be able to work from home. So there was a bit of an increase, but it's not that significant. The trend is still downwards. Now, to jump forward back to my mention of the 2013 peak, that was due to many reasons, such as recessions. People were understanding, well, we need more secure jobs. A lot of schools were changing up their curriculum to try and invite more computer science majors. There was also the funding from NSF, which is doing its part to fund more computer science programs and again inviting more people to join. There's a bunch of other factors that we could factor into that, but yeah, so we see it trends down from 2013 and never makes a rise back up. So now in figure 4 here, we see that these are bachelor's degrees earned by race and major in 2018. So I kind of filtered out STEM related majors here, and we see from the legend the races are color coded. So as we take a quick look at this graph, we see that there are a lot of white students that are earning degrees in science and engineering. There are nowhere near as much Black or African American students or just about any other race. This is largely dominated by white students. Okay, so now we're reaching our conclusion, and this is a quick video, guys. It's just, I only had a week to do this research. I would definitely love to dive deeper and continue to use the supercomputer to extract even larger data sets and dive deeper into how we might be able to influence a higher rate of computer science degrees within the Black community. But with that being said, let's try and come to the conclusion that I was able to come up to within the week. So figure 5 is a diagram showing the average full-time retention rate for HBCUs/PBIs from 2019 to 2023. This is not by major, not by race, although as we know, HBCUs and PBIs are largely enrolled or largely enroll African Americans, with the exception of maybe one or two um, outstanding races. But as we see here, the retention rate for the most part is very high. Of course, in 2021, there was COVID, so a lot of people were not able to return back to school. But before that, the retention rates were above 63%, and since then, they've only been going higher. So as we see in figure 5, a lot of the students that choose to go to a HBCU choose to stay there. And this is very important because in figure 6, we see the percentage of PhD students from HBCUs by field. And this is showing us what students graduated from an HBCU in a certain field and what was the percentage that they chose to go and pursue a doctorate's degree in that same field. And towards the top, we actually do see computer and information sciences. It's actually the second one, the second largest in this graph. So this means many of the students who go to HBCUs and graduate with the computer science or information sciences degree and continue to pursue their doctorate's degree choose to stay with it. And that brings us to our conclusion. If we want more black students to pursue computer science degrees, not only do we need to increase early on exposure by encouraging more of our students to participate in AP exams and have a broader interest in computer science as a whole, we also need to encourage HBCUs as a way to go. As we see, they have a great retention rate, and a lot of people who graduate with a computer science degree from an HBCU choose to keep that as their desired field of interest. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if there's any other videos or any other research you'd like me to look into. Have a great day, everyone.